will not be tolerated.
It's WVLP 103.1 FM in Valparaiso, Indiana. I'm Ken, the Metal Professor, and you're about to listen to an episode of the Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program, coverage of Revolution Championship Wrestling's event Do or Die from South Bend, Indiana on March 11th. Normally, I record audio and descriptions from the shows and squish the audio down to ideally an hour or less. This show was long. It went like 3.5 hours long, and it had a lot of good stuff in it. By the time I was done editing the first half down to where I really couldn't chop out anymore, it was already at about 45 minutes. And so what I'm doing is splitting the show into 2 weeks. So tonight, you're going to listen to coverage of the first half, and then next week, right after Mostly Metal, you'll listen to coverage of the second half. These are also posted to YouTube, the Nwiwrap channel. Anyway, here comes half one of the show. Well, this is Ken the Metal Professor. It's Revolution Championship Wrestling night. I'm at the Goodson Event Center in South Bend, Indiana. Hot off of last night's action at Acme Championship Wrestling in Rensselaer, Indiana. This event is RCW Presents Do or Die, and I was kind of caught by surprise here. The show wasn't supposed to start for half an hour, but there is a pre-show match just to keep the fans entertained because most of the seats are already full. We have Dante Casanova versus Nick Dallas. Dante Casanova came to the ring in like the garb of an Aztec god, and he has tattoos across his pecs to match. So he's living the style. Nick Dallas has been seen in the Northwest Indiana recently at Backbreaker Championship Wrestling in a tag team with Diesel Traxi. But this is the first time I think I've seen him in solo action. And so the way this works, if you haven't heard it before, is that I capture a lot of the sounds, give a little bit of description of what's going on. It's not going to be the whole show. It's sort of compressed down. It'll be about 50 minutes, maybe to an hour at the final result of things. Take a 2.5, 3 hour show and squish it down like that for your entertainment. Wrestling on the radio. In a fairly dominating performance, Dante Casanova pinned Nick Dallas. And Jorge Bravo has come out from behind the curtain. With his partner Aries Perez. Maybe they're kind of scouting Dante here as they're approaching the ring. Jorge has a microphone. Okay, let's get this started off properly. I'm Ken the Metal Professor. You're listening to the Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program on WVLP 103.1 FM in Valparaiso, Indiana. I'm at the Goodson Event Center in South Bend, Indiana for Revolution Championship Wrestling, and as you've heard, there's already been a pre-show match. The main show is about to get started in just a couple of minutes. Got, I think, 9 matches on the card, including a South Bend street fight between Brutus Dillon and Bacchus. That'll be 2 large men causing a lot of damage around the venue, I'm guessing. We've got a 2 out of 3 falls match between Theo Storm and Let Her Rip. We've got an RCW Heavyweight Championship match. Kevin Storm will be issuing an open challenge. And we've got the Revolution Championship Wrestling Tag Team Championship match between the Spark of Madness and Just Business. So just killing a little time here till ring announcer Ryan Anderson gets things underway. This has been pulling double duty for me this weekend. I was out at Acme Championship Wrestling last night here in South Bend for RCW, so I've tried to sort of think about how much time this has been. So let's see, left home last night at about 5 o'clock to get to the place ACW was at by 6. Rensselaer is about an hour away from home. Get myself set up, wait for the show to start at 7. The show goes till about 9:30, 9:45. Finally get home by about 11. And then wake up today, spend about 2 hours editing all the audio. And then at 3:30 my time, hop in the car to drive an hour out here to South Bend, where there's a time change, right? Get here I showed up about an hour and a half before the show was going to start. So now we've caught up to right now. The show will probably go about 3 hours, and then be another hour and 15 minutes before I'm able to be home again after packing up and driving. And then tomorrow is, for me, Sunday is going to be all the editing of this show. It's a good thing that I like this so much. It's fun. And boy, am I treated well by the people at the events, especially here at RCW. Everybody is terribly friendly, very welcoming, very nice. They help me out, and it's a great place to be. So I definitely recommend it. Now I'm going to shut up and wait until there's action. So Kevin Storm is interrupted before he even gets started.
Well, you can at least let him hear it.
And it's Beck Swisher, the manager of Scotty Young.
up the challenge thing was probably going to bite you in the ass eventually. And I think tonight's that night. What do you think? I'll see you later.
I know Beck Swisher.
Enjoy that belt for the next 2 hours.
I know Beck Swisher has been talking for a while, but I'm blinded by his sparkly green Wizard of Oz shoes, and I don't know if I heard everything he said. But the gist of it is it's going to be Scotty Young versus Kevin Storm later in the show. For Kevin Storm's up, and here comes Scotty Young running out from the back and chop blocks Kevin Storm, whose back was turned. Kevin Storm's knee has been his weak spot for a while. Scotty Young is just stomping on it. Here come Theo Storm and Daniel Stark to chase away Scotty Young.
South Bend, how are we doing? Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall. And is officiated by Dante. And is for our CW Tag Team Championship. Introducing first.
This has been an exciting weekend for listening to ring announcing, because normally this match is scheduled for one fall is sort of superfluous because matches usually end after one fall, so it's not newsworthy. But last night at ACW there was a 2 out of 3 falls match, and tonight there will be a 2 out of 3 falls match. This one isn't it. This is for the Tag Team Championships. Sean Sparks and Travesty have come out. They are the team Spark of Madness. I was listening carefully to Ryan Anderson's introduction of the Tag Team Champs, Just Business. Richard Wright and his partner, who was apparently not pleased with my pronunciation of his name, Giuseppe Gambini. I think I had called him Giuseppe Gambini before at the last RCW show I was at. I don't know, I think Giuseppe has a better ring to it, but Giuseppe perhaps is better. I apologize to Mr. Gambini for any distress I caused with my pronunciation, but I can't promise it won't happen again. The match began with Richard Wright and Travesty in the ring. Richard Wright, I don't believe, has touched Travesty at all, but twice in a row now he's ran past Travesty into their corner, the opposite corner, and struck poor Sean Sparks, who's just standing there minding his own business. And that's why, perhaps because he finally approached Travesty into a collar and elbow lock-up, and Travesty just threw him down on the mat. And now Giuseppe Gambini is standing up to Travesty and pokes him in the eye. He deserves to be called Giuseppe for that. Travesty finally tagged in Sean Sparks, proceeded to pick up Sean Sparks and just drop him on the body of Giuseppe Gambini. Now Travesty's tagged back in. Giuseppe is sort of lifeless. And Travesty is giving him headbutts while he's down on the mat. Richard Wright arranged it so he could be striking Sean Sparks, then running over into the opposite corner to hit Travesty, going back, striking Sean Sparks again, then running back into Sparks' corner to strike Travesty, reducing the odds of a tag. Went to pin Sparks, but Sparks kicked out. Gambini and Wright are working over Sparks in their own corner, so Travesty is very far away to come help. And being the good follower of rules that he is, he will stay there attached to that tag rope until he is properly tagged in. Sparks has not had a lot of offense here, but he is also hard to put away for good. And it looks like Sparks may be making a break for it, escaping from Gambini and trying to get over to Travesty to tag in. The ref is counting both men now up to 5 count. Gambini tagged in Wright, and Wright charged across the ring, and instead of getting on top of Sparks right away, he slugged Travesty again, so preventing the tag of Sean Sparks, so that Sparks could escape the ring and let Travesty come in. Sparks finally managed to tag Travesty after coming off the ropes with a flying cross-body block to both of his opponents at the same time. That knocked them down enough that he could get over to Travesty. While Travesty was throwing Gambini into the ropes, Gambini was close enough that he was able to tag Wright. Wright bounced off the apron and ran over to get one of his belts, brought it in the ring, went to attack Travesty with it. He missed and hit Jackie Jester. And Spark of Madness have just won the RCW Tag Team titles. After her introduction, Shauna Reed had antagonized poor ring announcer Ryan Anderson for a bit, but he's able to carry on like a champ. This match for the RCW Women's Championship, current champ Jensen against the challenger Shauna Reed. Jensen is backed in her corner by Damian Saint. Jensen was busy posing to the crowd when the bell started the match, so Shauna Reed just ran up behind her and started clobbering on her. But Jensen has turned the tables, and that was her dropping Shauna Reed onto the mat. And Shauna has rolled outside the ring. After taking Jensen for a walk around the outside of the ring and slamming her head into the ring post, Shauna Reed brought Zenson back into the ring, and ever since then has basically owned the match. Got a 2 count out of some rotating, spinning neck breaker. Jensen charged across the ring at Reed, but Reed moved out of the way and introduced Jensen's head to the ring post again, this time from the inside of the ring. And Shauna Reed just pinned Jensen, and now 2 matches, 2 title changes. Shauna Reed is now the women's heavyweight, the women's RCW champion. This does not bode well for Kevin Storm later in the program. Got 2 for 2 on title changes so far, and he will be at a distinct disadvantage because of the attack on his knee earlier. Ref Ray is coming out to take charge of the next match. People are booing. How do you boo Ref Ray? The man is a legend. A hero, even. Well, here comes the Hood Island. Arez Perez and Jorge Bravo. If you caught the very beginning of the broadcast, there was a pre-show match featuring Dante Casanova, who won very dominantly, and he was invited to join Hood Island.
Where's your sister?
He did not give an answer. We'll see whether he makes an appearance here. Half of the opponents have come out to the ring. The complete team of Daniel Starks and Jamar Jupiter to take on Hood Island. Jamar gets a good reaction from the crowd. He was the surprise tag team partner. In a tag match like this, you can tell who has the respect for the process. As Perez and Starks locked up in the ring, I watched Jamar Jupiter look around in his corner for the tag rope, spy it, and pick it up and grab onto it, and he's still holding it. Jorge Bravo, on the other hand, is leaning casually up against the ropes in his corner, jawing with the people in the crowd around him. Probably ready to do something illegal. There's a shoulder block from Perez onto Starks. Oh, now that Perez threw Starks outside the ring, Jorge jumps into action to slam Starks' head on the ring apron. Now goes back to his perch in his corner while Perez continues to do all the work in the ring. Ah, there we go. There's Jorge getting tagged in. He's plenty well rested, so he should have some offense stored up. Like that chop right to Stark's chest. And a big suplex. Having rested himself outside the ring for quite a while, Jorge waits until the ref is distracted, keeping Jamar Jupiter from coming in, to pull a sneak attack on Starks. and try for the pinfall after one of those moments where the ref's back is turned and one tag team partner claps his hands in the air over his head to make it sound like there was a tag. So technically Jorge is not the legal man, but I guess we have to let it go. Starks is trying to rally, but no luck. Damian Saint is out with Jamar Jupiter and Daniel Starks, and he's pacing his corner of the ring. Oh man, Starks' chest is taking a beating in this one. And Starks is trying to fight his way out of the opponent's corner, but Perez gives him a big elbow. Oh, but Starks finally gets away after missing an elbow. Tags in Jupiter. It was now bowling over Jorge Bravo once, twice. Jupiter did his job wearing down Hood Island. Starks has Jorge Bravo in a chin lock. And Perez came up behind and put Starks in a chin lock. But Jupiter has now thrown Perez out of the ring. But in the meantime, Dante Casanova has come strolling out from behind the curtain. Slowly pacing around the ring. He hasn't yet made any sign that he's going to get involved. Damian Saint is banging the ring to encourage the crowd, to encourage Daniel Starks. Jupiter is chasing. Oh, look at that. Jupiter chased Perez behind the curtain. And it looked like Casanova was attempting to strike Starks from outside the ring and missed and hit Bravo instead. So Starks was able to get to pinfall on Bravo. So Bravo, Perez, and Casanova are in the ring while the opponents head to the back. And all is forgiven because Bravo knows what Casanova was trying to do. Hood Island has increased by 50%. Josh Morris is introduced, or is getting ready to be introduced, although he's kind of introduced himself with his entrance music, which is basically Josh Morris is here over and over and over again. Also sung by his hype man, QZR Dobson. I mean, we don't really need Ryan Anderson to tell us who this is now. I guess it's good for Ryan to tell us all the nicknames. You are listening to the Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program on WVLP 103.1 FM in Valparaiso, Indiana.
You suck!
Josh's opponent is my favorite new person to me from last month's PWK event in Knox. Straight out of a 1980s MTV video, Gigi Jacobs. When you have a couple of big characters in the ring, there's a lot of talking, dissembling, distracting. And it can kind of be a stalemate for quite a while, but GG had Josh Morris in an armbar. QZR Dobson jumped up on the ring apron to distract the ref so that he wouldn't see in case Josh Morris started tapping out. That in turn distracted GG Jacobs, and now Josh Morris has the upper hand. No, and QZR Dobson is choking Jacobs from the outside. Dobson has jumped up on the apron again, distracting Jacobs. Jacobs comes over to jaw with Dawson. Morris tries to attack, but Jacobs gave him a backslide for a 2 count. So far, all that interference hadn't helped. Until Morris hit Jacobs with a leaping drop kick off the second rope. Another 2 count. Jacobs is now instructing the referee on how to count to 3. Morris is staggered to his feet on the apron on the outside of the ropes. Jacobs brought him back in the ring by yanking on the top rope. And Morris just kept rolling and is now on the apron on the opposite side of the ring. So Jacobs suplexing Morris into the ring, up and over the rope, which causes Jacobs to fall down on his back with his legs sticking out through the ropes so that Dobson could hold them, while Jacobs is pinned by Morris. And Morris celebrates as if he did it all by himself.
The following is not 1 fall. It's 2 out of 3 falls. And this is for your RCW No Limits Championship. Introducing first.
The momentous occasion has arrived where Ryan Anderson doesn't say that the match is for 1 fall. Even he knew it. It's a big deal. And after all that taunting, Theo Storm just hit Let Her Rip in the forehead with the microphone. Theo is accompanied to the ring by Damian Saint, and I believe that is the 3rd match where Damian Saint has come out to the ring with one of the contestants. And very quickly, after a big boot to the face, Theo Storm has collected the first pinfall on Let Her Rip. Storm is reminding Let Her Rip that this match was his idea. In this second portion of the match, after Theo Storm got the first pinfall, Let Her Rip has been in control. He's got a couple of 2 counts, especially after that leg drop from the top rope. or second rope maybe.
Hit him harder, ref. Hit him harder. Can do. There you go. There you go. Harder.
Let her rip, chop Theo Storm, and Theo Storm just returned the favor. Maybe again. There it is. And Theo with another big boot to the face. But as Theo is preparing to run to the ropes to get some spring back into Let Her Rip again, Let Her Rip delivered a low blow. Got the pinfall for himself, so now it's 1-1. And Let Her Rip is immediately back on the attack. The ref was there watching the whole thing, so either this is no DQ or he was blinking for a long time, not quite sure. Theo Storm just dropped Let Her Rip off of the top rope with kind of looked like a muscle buster. Old Samoa Joe style. But it took him a long time to crawl back over for the pinfall, and he only got 2. Theo's about to go in for a springboard cutter, and Let Her Rip yanked the ref into the way. So the ref took a cutter. Let Her Rip just rolled Theo onto his head. And is getting what would have been a 3 count if the ref was awake. That's 2 weekends in a row now when I've seen a ref take a cutter. Poor guys. If you want to know about that one, check out my delayed audio coverage of Rocket Pro Wrestling from Joliet. Let Her Rip just went over to the sound table for some reason. Came back empty-handed. Now he's chasing Damian Saint and grabbing the No Limits Championship. And Let Her Rip just blasted Damian Saint in the forehead with the No Limits belt. Which is held by Theo Storm. Here comes Jamar Jupiter from backstage. Yanks the belt out of Let Her Rip's hands. Now he's in the ring with it. And Theo Storm is sneaking up on Let Her Rip from behind. Let Her Rip ducks out of the way, and Jamar Jupiter blasted Theo Storm with the belt. So now Storm is down.
Come on, Kevin!
And the ref came to enough to count the pinfall. So Let Her Rip wins 2 out of 3 falls. And now he is the RCW No Limits champion. Jupiter is looking bummed because it's kind of his fault. And now I believe it's intermission time. The show started at 7. It is now 9 on the dot. And it's only intermission. Ooh, this is going to be a long one. We are a little more than halfway through coverage of the Revolution Championship Wrestling event Do or Die from South Bend, Indiana, that was originally held on Saturday, March 11th. As I promised at the beginning of the show, or threatened, or whatever it is, I'm going to have to keep you in suspense for the second half because the show was long, 3.5 hours, and all of the good audio that I couldn't get compressed to under an hour without leaving out anything that happened that was important. So instead, I'm splitting this up into 2 different weeks episodes of the Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program. So tonight you heard action from the first half of that show. And next week on WVLP, on Wednesday, March 22nd, if you are intrigued, you can come back and listen to the second half. So this show follows mostly metal. Get your heavy metal Joneses all settled out with heavy metal on mostly metal at 10 p.m. on Wednesdays on WVLP, 10 to midnight. And then at midnight, right after that, this coming Wednesday, will be the second half of this show that you've been listening to. Or you can head for YouTube, the Nwiwrap YouTube channel, where you can find the audio from both halves at some point. By the time you hear this, the first half will certainly be up there. All right, so I'm Ken the Metal Professor. Thanks for listening, and I return you now to normal WVLP programming as opposed to this wrestling nonsense, which is the abnormal WVLP programming.